I've seen numerous videos lately of farmers and their chicken tractors, and I don't see anybody doing it wrong. I see most of us doing it different. Mine is not on wheels. I don't want that gap. I don't want anything to get under, but more importantly, I don't want any of those baby chicks to get out. Plus, if you put it on wheels, how high off the ground are you going to go? Because you got to go high enough to clear a stop, but not high enough to let a chick out. Or if you don't have a livestock guardian dog, you can't go too high because something will get underneath there, a coon or a possum or something. So you got to be careful with wheels. I don't use a prop to hold this open. That's just one more thing I got to keep up with. Although I do think it's a good idea, I haven't figured out exactly where I would want to put it when I'm not using it. I like being able to remove this. It comes off there pretty easily. I use aluminum for my roof, so it's light. I brace the center. You can see here, I brace the center, and mine are only 8x8. Some folks are a little smaller, some are bigger. I think Joe Salatin's are like 10x12. Well, that means I got to buy a 10-foot 2x4 and a 12-foot 2x4. This way, I only got to buy 8-foot 2x4s. I'm not raising 20,000 birds. I don't need a 10x12. They hold no more than 44 birds each. I had to build a dolly to move them. Some folks don't like that. They just drag them. I found that dragging them, they don't last as long. They'll catch stobs. I built this dolly. It works great. It lifts it up off the ground while I'm moving it. The dolly doesn't catch stobs or rocks. I don't like pulling it with a four-wheeler. I think it's too stressful on the birds, that noise, that exhaust going that way. I don't have complete control over watching the birds and pulling it at the same time unless I want it to be a two-man job, which I don't, because a two-man job means it costs me twice as much in labor. I do make mine out of treated lumber. I'm sure the others do also. I don't like working with treated lumber. It bends and bows, and it's good if you got a lot of braces on it. It's terrible if you don't. I do not have any braces directly underneath my lid. None. Because I have a 6-foot feeder trough that goes in there. You've seen them. I make them out of those cedar pickets, and I need to be able to pull that thing straight out and set it straight back down in there without any brace getting in my way. And I only want to have to feed once a day, so I have a 6-foot trough. I also build a platform right here to hold 2 5-gallon buckets. 2 5-gallon buckets of water, 6-foot feeder trough. When they're 7-8 weeks old, that's enough. You don't got to check them twice a day. Up until then, you for sure don't, because they're not eating and drinking as much. I'm happy with these. They work good. I don't know of a good alternative. I have friends who have them on wheels, who pull them with tractors and all that, and you got to count the tractor into your expenses, and if you don't, well, then you're not managing your numbers. And if you're not managing your numbers, you're not managing your business. Another thing about my chicken tractors is I don't use hardware cloth, which is, it's more expensive. If I were just gonna make one and I needed it to look really fancy, then yeah, the hardware cloth works, it looks good, you can get it a lot tighter than this, but I'm trying to save money because I need several of these. I want my input, my expense to be low, so I go with chicken wire. It works just as good as hardware cloth. It's definitely cheaper, and I'm about saving money.